Hello, and welcome to our channel. In this video, we are going to discuss the stock portfolio of Warren Buffett. Have you ever heard about Warren Buffett? You have heard of this character if you are an already investor or thinking to invest in different businesses. Before we go into it, please make sure you subscribe the channel and press the bell icon. If you don't know Warren Buffett, then get closer. We are going to give you the exposure of Warren Buffett's stock portfolio. Then you can easily know who he is. Let us give you a bird's eye view of the high stock portfolio of Warren Buffett. Apple. At the very first rank, Warren Buffett's investment goes in Apple. The total value of Berkshire Hathaway's 13F position is $124 billion in this company, and the number of hedge fund shareholders is 141. Warren Buffett's top stock choice for the previous 5 years has been Apple, which has commanded a massive portion of his 13F portfolio over the past 2 years, after he almost tripled the size of his Apple position during Q3 2020. Since then, Berkshire's 13F exposure to Apple has remained over 40%. Nearly 895 million shares of the position remained constant during the third quarter. There are just a few hedge funds in the world that even have $124 billion in assets under management, much alone that much money invested in a single stock. To put Buffett's enormous $124 billion holding in Apple into perspective. Bank of America Corporation. The total value of Berkshire Hathaway's 13F position is $30.5 billion in this company, and the number of hedge fund shareholders is 101. As of September 30, Warren Buffett continued to own the same number of shares of Bank of America Corporation as he has held for the previous 2 years, a little over $1.01 billion. Nearly the course of that period, the value of his position increased by over $6 billion. Hedge fund ownership of Bank of America hit an all-time low a year ago, but it has since recovered by 31%. Bank was added to the 13F portfolio of Louis Bacon's more global investments during Q3. Buffett used to favor bank stocks as investments, but they no longer have the same revered place in his portfolio. Bank of America Corporation, which is Berkshire's second largest 13F stake, is one of the exceptions. Chevron Corporation. The total value of Berkshire Hathaway's 13F position is $23.8 billion in this company, and the number of hedge fund shareholders is 68. Buffett's holding firm Berkshire Hathaway grew its stake in Chevron Corporation by 3% during the third quarter, finishing the period with more than 165 million shares. The amount of CVX owned by hedge funds increased by over 50% during the last 5 of the last 6 quarters, reaching an all-time high. The best energy stock according to Buffett is Chevron Corporation. When oil and gas prices are high, the corporation may benefit greatly because of its strong mix of upstream and downstream assets, while it is relatively protected when they are not. During the first 9 months of 2022, Chevron's upstream business more than quadrupled its earnings year over year, reaching $24.8 billion. The corporation has a financial sheet that resembles a fortress and a reliable dividend that it has increased for 35 years running. The Coca-Cola Company. The total value of Berkshire Hathaway's 13F position is $22.4 billion in this company, and the number of hedge fund shareholders is 59. One of Warren Buffett's oldest investments is the Coca-Cola Company, and the Oracle of Omaha has maintained its position in it for more than 10 years. His share count increased by double in Q3 2012 as a result of the company's stock split. The fact that other money managers' holding of the company has decreased for 3 consecutive quarters, decreasing by 20% during that period, suggests that they are worried about sluggish cola's growth and the downturn in worldwide soda consumption. The Coca-Cola Company did, however, have a strong third quarter, with net revenue growing by 10% and EPS increasing by 14% on an annual basis. This success in diversifying beyond its soda offerings, including the introduction of 2 alcoholic beverages this year, is highlighted by the company. American Express Company. The total value of Berkshire Hathaway's 13F position, $20.4 billion this company, and the number of hedge fund shareholders is 71. Nearly 152 million shares of American Express Company were still owned by Warren Buffett at the end of the third quarter. Buffett also has investments, albeit much smaller ones, in Visa and MasterCard Incorporated. During Q3, such holdings were likewise not touched. Important shareholders in AXP include Ken Fisher's Fisher Asset Management and Peter Rathjen's Bruce Clark, and John Campbell's Arrow Street Capital. As was said in the first half of this essay, Buffett favors businesses with significant competitive advantages, such as American Express Company and AXP. He initially acquired a share in the business in 1964, which is when he first became interested in it. A few years later, he sold out of that investment, but in 1993, he returned to long AXP and is currently the owner of more than 20% of the firm. Occidental Petroleum Corporation. The value of Berkshire Hathaway's 13F position, $11.9 billion this company. The number of hedge fund shareholders is 79. Occidental Petroleum Corporation, which the billionaire money manager increased his holdings in during Q3, closing the quarter with over 194 million shares, rounds up the first half of Warren Buffett's top stock selections. One of these energy sector additions to Buffett's portfolio this year is Occidental Petroleum Corporation, which was added to it in the first quarter. Over the next 2 quarters, he increased his holdings further. It's not his first encounter with the business, either. In 2019, he invested $10 billion in preferred stock that pays Berkshire an 8% yearly dividend. After successfully paying down a sizable portion of its debt burden this year, the firm intends to partially redeem that in the near future. The company anticipates that by year's end, it will have removed over $10 billion in debt off its balance sheet. The Kraft Heinz Company. The value of Berkshire Hathaway's 13F position is $10.9 billion in this company, and the number of hedge fund shareholders is 41. Since assisting in the merger of Kraft and Heinz alongside George Paul Lemon's 3G Capital in the third quarter of 2015, Warren Buffett's stake in the Kraft Heinz Company has not changed. The two firms had owned Heinz since 2013. The position, which has lost more than $12 billion in value in the 7 years following the merger, has been one of Buffett's greatest blunders to date. Buffett said to CNBC back in 2019 that while he may have made a mistake on the price he paid for the investment, he will still be happy to still own the stock 5 years from now. Buffett hasn't indicated that he's going to give up on his investment in the Kraft Heinz Company anytime soon. So this was our today's video in which we discussed the stock portfolio of Warren Buffett. Indeed, we thank you, viewers, for staying with us. Please make sure you like our video and appreciate our efforts by subscribing to the channel. Signing off, stay blessed, goodbye.